Yeah guys, today I'm going to show you this absolutely awesome 4-in-1 roadside hero from Joltekon. 4-in-1 means we have a very strong jump starter suitable for pretty much all gas cars and even diesel up to 10 liters. But we can also use it to inflate our car tires with up to 150 psi. We have a built-in battery of 10,000 milliamps, which we can use as a normal power bank to charge our phones, tablets, whatsoever. And we have a very powerful light built in, so don't have to be worried if something happens during the night. You're perfectly covered with this device. By the way, the model is VP10 and I got this device for free from the seller to show you all the really nice details here. But it's still my honest opinion because I would never claim something which is not true. And so what's also really nice here is that we get also this really nice storage and carry bag. So we don't have to keep it in the box. And so here we have it inside with a large instructions manual, some FAQs. And so here we have this beautiful jump starter. So it's not only very capable, but also very beautiful, really nicely made. Has also a really solid build. Comes even with 4 soft rubber feet down here for a secure stand. That's super important, especially if you want to use it as a tire inflator. I've already seen a lot of tire inflators which don't have such soft rubber feet, and then usually they are scratching heavily on the floor. That would have been a shame for this device, but luckily they covered us nicely. And so here we have also the accessories. Nice connector cable for the batteries. Something you have to know here, the clamps are pretty wide. So if you have just a narrow gap beside the battery poles, could be a little bit challenging to apply them. But unfortunately, it's pretty much standard these days to get these clamps. Other than that, they look really good. They come also with nice insulation protection against accidental touch on the car body to cause some sparks. On the other side, I really like this plug here that makes sure that we cannot reverse it, but we have reverse protection anyway, and we have this boost button really nicely integrated here on the top. That's an awesome thing. With a lot of other car jump starters, this button is difficult to find. Here we have it right away. So if the battery is super low and you don't get a green light, you can push this button for an extra boost. Comes with a standard USB-A to modern USB-C charging cable, and we get also the inflating hose. What I also like is that they are using a standard adapter. We see so many tire inflators which are not using standard adapters, so huge advantage here. We also see this large wheel here to secure, and it comes with this quick snap adapter here, super easy to apply. You don't have to rotate this on top of your tire valves. And we get also a lot of adapter nozzles. So let's start with the light. It's a little bit uncommon that we cannot just push here on the light button. We have to actually start the device with a long press, so we see the battery level here, and only then we can use the light. Not too difficult, just needs an additional push here and then it turns on, and that's something what I really like. I mean, sometimes we see very small lights, but here that's a real floodlight. You can illuminate the whole area. When we push again, goes into strobe mode. When we push again, goes into automatic SOS. And it's really nice, strong light. And when we push again, turns off. And I've been reading the instructions manual, and you can see there's not a lot of information because it's actually so easy to use compared to other jump starters and even combined jump starters with inflating tools. This one seems to be much easier to be used. That's something which I really like. With other ones, every time you want to use it, you have to read the instructions manual, maybe 10-20 pages. Here it's definitely not much. Let's here start on this side with the USB input and output. By the way, the USB-C port is only input, so we can only charge it here. Says 5 volts, 2 amps. Let's test this here, plugging this in, and so we are close to 10 watts charging speed. And what's great here is, I hope you can see that I have connected it to this PD charger with USB-C to C. That's awesome because we have a lot of PD chargers these days and a lot of devices cannot use them, but here it's supporting also USB-C to C with PD charge. On the other hand, we can't use the USB-C port to charge a phone. You can see that here shows charging, but it's charging from this phone here to this power bank or jump starter and not charging from here to the phone. So it's better to unplug it now, but it's just a small complaint here because we get the USB-A to USB-C charging cable anyway to charge a phone, tablet, computer, whatsoever. You can see nice charge here. It's not supporting any quick charge standards, but it has a decent 2 amps output at 5 volts. And to use the inflating function, we connect this hose here. Yeah, really nice. And so we can either start the inflation function by pressing plus and minus to adjust the pressure or the target pressure, because you can see here the really advanced display. A lot of such devices have only one display, then we are switching between the current and the target. Here we can always see the target, that's super helpful, but we can also switch the mode. You can see we have different modes with different presets here that you can use. You can see the target bar here for the different items, but you can also long press down here, then we can switch between the PSI, kPa and bar. Target for the car 35 PSI seems to be decent, and so to start it we just press here shortly on the on off button again. Will be a little bit loud, but I'm doing that quickly here. Definitely not super quiet, but I would say also not super loud. Display is also nicely visible even in direct sun. By the way, the flashing is only visible in the camera. Easy to read displays for such devices, super important. I've seen so many which were super hard to see, and so I'm selecting here the bicycle. Target pressure shows 44. It's a little bit too high for my taste, so I can correct it down to 35, but 44 is actually a good thing. I just use it usually a little bit lower, and so we can connect this here, and so we can open the valve, put it here, clamp it down. I'm using this here with this Presta to Shredder valve adapter. Mountain bike tire is totally deflated, and so I start this here. Yeah, it didn't take too long and has stopped precisely at 35. With some inflators, they stop a little bit off. Here, absolutely precisely. So let's see how good we can remove that. Okay, removed with no pressure loss. Also very important. Inflation process was working at a decent speed. What I also like here is how we have the thread here for the inflating hose. I have attached another hose here. For example, one with this super quick snap style. And there's still a gap here. With a lot of other tire inflators, it's difficult to attach a standard hose, but here we have it secured before, for example, the pressure release valve hits the housing. And also super important for the inflation that we have this really nice cooling here on both of the sides, preventing from overheating, but of course it's still recommended to pause inflating every 10 minutes or so to let it cool down. And the jump starter itself works from this port here and is supposed to have a spark-free design. So we plug it in, push it here fully inside, you get the red light because we do not have any battery charge here at the moment. And now let's test the spark-free design. Connecting here plus to plus, you can already see that there is no light here. I hold this a little bit so you can see that better. And so let's try with the minus here. You can see there was absolutely no spark and we see the green light. So this would be now ready to start if you have this battery in a car. Of course, it's also possible that the car battery is low and then you don't get a solid green light. You would get a flashing green light. and that's the moment where you have to push the boost button here. I'm not doing that here because it would also temporarily disable all the safety functions which we have built in here into this jump starter. Yes, I would say this Joltekon VP10 roadside hero 4-in-1 with so many different functions, high quality, great build, definitely one of the top choices I would say in 2025 for a jump starter with some extra functions, and so it's a full recommendation from my side. And so if you're interested, I'll put down the link to the Amazon listing down into the description so you can check it out and order one for you if you like. And I hope I've been able to help you a little bit with this video. If you have any questions or comments or want to share your own experience with this jump starter, then just let us know down in the feedback area. I'm always happy to talk about these things, and if you like the video, give me a thumbs up, subscribe my channel. Thanks for watching. See you next time.